All right, guys, welcome to Research Expert Solutions. Today we'll be talking about research conceptual frameworks. Yeah, so we have different research conceptual frameworks that we have developed at Research Expert Solutions. However, the main focus of today is to basically show you the importance of research conceptual frameworks and how we can use these research conceptual frameworks to explore investigations of different phenomenon. So, for example, you may be looking at a relationship, say, between unemployment rate and economic growth, and you are interested in running a regression, and you need to specify your dependent variable as well as your independent variables. Yeah, so in specifying your dependent variable and your independent variables, we can say if we have this simple research conceptual framework where we have our dependent variable as one dependent variable, and we're trying to explain this particular dependent variable using two independent variables. So if, say, we're looking at the impact of unemployment rate on economic growth, we may also want to add another independent variable besides unemployment rate. So we can have this as, say, unemployment rate, and we can have this as say maybe investment, or let's say capital investment. So you'll notice that it becomes very easy for you to demonstrate your ideas because you have got a research conceptual framework that is a template. And ideally, the essence of research conceptual frameworks is to basically show the relationship between the variables of interest. So the variables of interest are mainly your dependent variable as well as your independent variables. And the other issue is we want to understand what relationships do you expect between the dependent variable and the independent variables of interest. Because when you're doing a research, what you want to basically do is find out whether what has been hypothesized is actually the case. So in doing so, you have to have an idea of what the expected relationships could be. So in this regard, we are expecting that if this is, say, economic growth, then we can say that unemployment rate is expected to have a negative impact on economic growth, and capital investment is expected to have a positive impact on, say, economic growth. And you may want to basically describe how you're going to measure unemployment rate. And usually, if you are dealing with annual time series data, which is secondary, and you have to collect that data from reputable sources like, say, World Bank, you'll find that the definitions for these particular variables are actually stated out there. So in your conceptual framework, you may want to grasp the idea of the definition and simplify it in a manner that is very easy for anyone to understand, and put it out here in this research conceptual framework in a shorter form, because most of the definitions are too detailed. But in a conceptual framework, we're trying to create a visualization of what we're trying to investigate. So it has to be simple. And in this regard, you can put out your definition right there, and you can also put out your definition for capital investment right there. And these definitions actually give us a description of how you are going to measure capital investment, right? So basically, this is a very simple research conceptual framework template that one can use to actually demonstrate the relationships that they are focusing on. Yeah, so basically, research conceptual frameworks are very important, and this is where every study begins, because without a research conceptual framework, then you do not have an idea of what you're trying to investigate. And a research conceptual framework basically is the most important part of any study, because it gives us an overview of what you are trying to investigate. And if you reviewed some theories, you'll notice that this research conceptual framework is connected to so many things in your study. For example, when we talk of the literature review, you'll find that the literature review guided you on the type of variables that you should include in this particular model. And say if you're looking at say maybe theories such as maybe the Phillips curve, you may suggest that, well, to select unemployment rate as an independent variable, I was guided by some theory, say the Phillips curve hypothesis, right? Then if you're looking at capital investment, you may suggest that, well, another theory, say pertaining to the Solo-Swan 1956 growth model by Robert Solow and Trevor Swan, actually guided you on including capital investment as a potential variable that can explain economic growth in your country. So in this regard, you notice that, well, the research conceptual framework is very important, and it serves as the basic foundation for your study. And basically all studies are supposed to start from the research conceptual framework before even writing down anything else. So you find that this is something that you need to sell before you actually propose that your study is something that you want to do. So the other thing is that literature can give us also an idea of what the expected relationship is. So you may find that mostly this will also come from theory, because what you expect should be based on what is conventionally accepted, and what is conventionally accepted is highly linked to theory. So yeah, the expected relationships can be specified by theory, or if your study does not have any grounded theory on the relationship you're looking at, then you can just delete these two expected relationships, and you can also delete this conceptual framework is very customizable. So in this regard, if you don't have any grounded theory, you can basically delete that, and you can also delete this and these other expected relationships. Then you remain with that, right? Assuming that there is no theory that supports the independent variables that you are suggesting are likely impacting this particular dependent variable. So that's basically the answers of research conceptual frameworks. So I'll run through things very quickly, because basically I'm just introducing the importance of research conceptual frameworks and the importance of having these templates, because they can save you a lot of time. So next, we can see that we have another research conceptual framework template with 3 independent variables. And for this one, it's a case where you are looking at least 3 independent variables explaining a particular dependent variable of interest. So same applies. You may be guided by theory and basically specify your variables based on some theory, or if it's not theory, then you're looking at the empirical side of the literature, where you reviewed a bunch of studies at, say, maybe global perspective, regional perspective, and say local perspective. So global perspective, if you're coming from my country, Zambia, say you're in Africa, that's on the regional perspective, it would be African studies. On the global perspective, it could be any study that has been done outside Africa. And local perspective, then we're talking of studies that have been done in Zambia. And looking at all the variables that those studies are used to actually investigate the particular phenomenon that you are also trying to investigate, you'll be able to get some independent variables from those studies, and also not just get all the independent variables and just use them in your study. You may also want to specify another variable that you feel probably explains the dependent variable and has been overlooked in the literature or the empirical studies that you review. So that's one way you can contribute to the empirical literature. So moving on to the other one, so we can see that we have a bunch of research conceptual framework templates that can be used by anyone who's conducting a study that involves one dependent variable and multiple independent variables. So I say multiple because we have quite a lot of research conceptual framework templates, but you will notice that the only thing that is changing are the independent variables in terms of the number. However, the dependent variable is constant as 1, because in this case, we're only focusing. So this particular research conceptual framework that we're calling RES1D1 only has 1 dependent variable. Then you'll notice that as we proceed in this document, you can see that the number of independent variables keep increasing. Now, you see, research conceptual frameworks are very important, they're templates, because really for you to really draw these research conceptual frameworks can take a lot of time, because here we are looking at basically 9 independent variables and 1 dependent variable. But if you have ever tried to actually draw these research conceptual framework templates in your Microsoft Office, you'll notice that it's really hard to draw, especially a lot of independent variables associated with 1 dependent variable over there, and also including some descriptions on how you're going to measure these particular independent variables. So you find that is why at Research Expert Solutions, we have specialized in delivering quality research and data analysis solutions, and over the years, gaining a lot of experience in dealing with different research-related problems. We've been able to create research templates that can be used by anybody else who's facing challenges that we've already encountered in the past. And this provides you with an opportunity to easily basically deal with the problems that we dealt with in the past easily than we dealt with them before we actually created these solutions. So that is why I would encourage anyone who's facing challenges with drawing their research conceptual framework to consider visiting our website at researchexpertsolutions.com and be able to search for our research conceptual framework templates and have access to them. So I'll be showing you very soon how you can have access to our research conceptual framework template. So you can see that this other research conceptual framework template basically has 11 independent variables and just 1 dependent variable. Now, someone may ask a question that, don't you think these independent variables are too many for a study? So, of course, they may seem too many, but usually if you are doing research that involves primary data and you have maybe a questionnaire and you conducted some survey to basically understand the demographics of, say, study participants, and also distributed some questionnaires to them which they answered. You'll notice that those studies that deal with questionnaires or that use questionnaires as a data collection method, most of them, questionnaires are usually bulky. So you find that the questionnaires have got so many questions that they are asking, and when you are dealing with such studies, the questions themselves are treated as independent variables. So you find that the questions may be categorized in, say, 4 groups, or maybe categorized in different ways. And those different ways under each category, there are a series of questions that you are asking the respondents. And that means that your study is basically going to incorporate a lot of dimensions that you will be measuring, and those dimensions will be part of your research conceptual framework. So you find that, say, maybe you're looking at the impact of, say, maybe the impact of income on consumers' purchasing decisions, right? So maybe you are taking the survey approach for this study, and you have a questionnaire and you distribute that questionnaire to potential participants. So you find that you want to understand maybe the impact of their demographics on their purchasing decision. So demographic characteristics could be gender, It could be education. Does the education status of a particular individual influence the decisions they make in buying a particular product? So you find that we can have demographics over there. And if you also want, the title can be phrased as the impact of demographic characteristics on an individual's purchasing decision, right? So, or individuals' purchasing decisions, right? So that means that if you're looking at demographic characteristics in general, then you may have gender here as one of your independent variable, and you may have education here as your another independent variable, or your second independent variable, and you can have something like maybe employment status as, say, another independent variable, trying to see how in say maybe, so let me just type that in. So anyway, doesn't matter. But here, what we're trying to say, you can have employment status, trying to analyze how employment status maybe influences the buying decision of that particular individual. And you can also have, say, maybe marital status, whether if someone is married, how does that affect their buying decisions, right? So you can have quite a lot of dimensions that you are looking at and measuring those dimensions to see their impact on that particular dependent variable of interest, right? So you can also have maybe area of residence. So you may want to understand whether someone is in the rural area or in the urban area. Does that impact their buying decisions of a particular item? So you see that if you're conducting a survey or a study that involves the use of a questionnaire and looking at these more of qualitative characteristics, you may have quite a lot of independent variables, which is not usually the case if you are dealing with quantitative studies. Like, for example, if you're dealing with a study that is more of an econometric study, then you find that it is discouraged to include too many independent variables, right? Because we want to assume ceteris paribus, and we don't want our model to have too many independent variables, because remember that the more independent variables that you include, that also has an impact on the number of observations when we talk of the degrees of freedom. So basically, that is something that you need to consider and think about. So basically, these research conceptual frameworks are very important, and they can help you whether you are dealing with a quantitative study, whether you're dealing with a qualitative study. These can really help you a lot. So basically, if you want to have access to these research conceptual framework templates, because this goes all the way up to, so we have RES1D1 CF14, meaning this goes all the way up to 15 independent variables. So you see that? So this can save you a lot of time. And also, not just time, it's quite very difficult for you to create these research conceptual frameworks with so many independent variables. And that is why we created this solution, because it also took us a lot of time to design these in such a way that they are very customizable. You can change things in this research conceptual framework templates, like I mentioned. You can do quite a lot of things. So yeah, if you want to purchase these research conceptual framework templates, you can basically visit Research Expert Solutions. So you can visit our website. You can go on your Google platform and you can just type Research Expert Solutions. Okay, then you will be redirected to this one. So this is our website, and you just click on it. Okay, so when you come to our website, you'll be able to see the interface of our website, and this is just a home page. But you'll notice that, of course, we have the services section over there, and this is not what you're looking for if you're looking for research conceptual framework templates, because we at Research Expert Solutions, we offer services as well as products. So there's a difference there. So services is where you hire us to do certain things and we do them in time. So you'll notice that, yeah, so we have academic research services. We also have data analysis services. We also have data and analysis training services over there. And we also have corporate research and data analysis services. So we have market research, policy analysis, and so on and so forth. But where we are interested in is here. So we have quite a lot of products, but our main focus today is research conceptual framework templates. So you notice that we have research conceptual framework templates, research plan templates, literature review, summary diagram templates, research technical roots templates, glance research, which will be explained in another video. But for now, let's go to research conceptual framework templates. Or we can just come here first so that you have a look, just in case you click there by mistake. Okay, so we have these services. These products. So you can see that these are the products that we have. But for now, let's focus on the research conceptual framework templates. So we click on that. You can click on that. You can click on the word, doesn't matter. So we have these now. So these are the research conceptual framework templates. And all these are the ones that I talked about earlier. So you'll notice that on this page, they are presented in an individual form, right? They are all individual. They are not in one document, but we have a part where you can basically select an all-in-one package, which is basically this one here, right? So if you want the whole document that I was showing you earlier, you can just click on this. And basically the prices are stated over there. So you'll notice that, of course, when you come to our research conceptual framework templates, there's a buy button over there that is red, and there's also another buy button that is green. And sometimes it won't be buy, it will be download for free on Ko-Fi. So when you see that, you can easily, so it means that basically we have two shops. We have a shop on our main website. This is basically our website. And we have a shop on Ko-Fi, right? So we have a page which is our shop on Ko-Fi. So that one, mostly it's meant for international customers, right? So Ko-Fi offers good payment systems for international customers. But if you want to buy directly from Research Expert Solutions, or rather from us, you can click on the buy button that is red, right? Because basically, but what will happen is that when you say you want to buy this one and you click on that, it means that it will redirect you to send us a message to our WhatsApp so that we can respond to you and discuss with you what payment method you are comfortable with. So, but if you go on Ko-Fi, it will basically ask you to pay using your bank, using PayPal, right? Or other international payment systems. So you realize that this is done to cater for different customers in Zambia as well as international customers. For international buyers, you can just go with that one. So the other difference is that if you are buying on Ko-Fi, you won't have direct communication with people at Research Expert Solutions. We won't even know that you bought, right? But if you are buying directly from us, you basically have to communicate with us. It will send us a message and we'll start communicating with you on WhatsApp, to discuss how you prefer to make the payment. And then once the payment is confirmed, then the documents will be sent to you via whatever method you want. So this is basically the way it is. So if you want to purchase, you just click on that. But for now, let me demonstrate based on this conceptual framework template. So when you click on it, basically when you click on the item, it will take you here where you see more detail about it, right? Then you can go ahead with purchasing this item directly from us. So when you click on that, it will redirect you to WhatsApp sending us a message. However, if you want to say, for example, this one is available for free. So if I click on that, it will take me to Ko-Fi, right? So this is Ko-Fi, and this is their page. This is basically their website, and this is our page, right? So if you want to get this, you can easily download it, and it will process the transaction. Like for example, this is free, so you don't have to pay anything. So it will basically ask you to sign in before you purchase, and once you sign in, you'll be able to get that item for free. So, but if you want to view our shop, you can actually visit us at Ko-Fi and check out our shop and see the kind of things that we have. So let me say view all. So you see, this is Research Expert Solutions. This is basically our shop on Ko-Fi. Or if you want to search for our products on Ko-Fi, you can just type Research Expert Solutions shop on Ko-Fi. Probably Google will bring that to you. So you see, we have quite a lot of things that we are selling. So we have free items. For now, the only free item that is available is this particular Research Conceptual Framework template. And literature review diagrams, we have these. These are very powerful tool for These are very powerful tools for analysis. So I won't explain them, but I'll explain them in another video. Then we have research conceptual frameworks, which I was talking about earlier. So we also have different types of research conceptual framework templates that you may be interested in with the prices. Then notice that the other difference is that if you're buying things on Ko-Fi, the prices are in dollars. But if you're buying things directly from our website, the prices are in Zambian kwacha. So that's more like an advantage for Zambian customers. Yeah. So then we also have research plan design templates, which I'll explain later in other videos. Then we also have research plans templates. So there's a difference between research plan design templates and research plan templates. We also have technical routes, which I'll also explain later. So thank you for tuning in. This is Research Expert Solutions. If you'd like to purchase our Research Conceptual Framework templates, you can choose between purchasing through us or on our actual website, or you can choose to purchase our Research Conceptual Framework templates on Ko-Fi, which is our page on our shop.